Noon starts right now.
We start with late-breaking news this noon. Several fire crews on the scene in Leon Valley after a fire broke out at an apartment complex.
Camilla Juarez is there, and she's got an update for us. Camilla?
That's right. Leon Valley, their firefighters are actually just now starting to wrap up this apartment complex. Firefighters got the call around 10:30 this morning for a structure fire, and when they got here, about 2 units were on fire. They put that fire out, so a total of 4 apartment units were damaged from the fire. Everyone was able to evacuate. Some of the people weren't home, so right now nobody was hurt in this fire. Again, everybody is safe, but 4 units are uninhabitable. You can see that fire crews are starting to wrap up some of their gear and head out of here. But I spoke to the Leon Valley Fire Chief, and he told us that this apartment complex did not have sprinklers because when it was built, there was no code for it. Okay, it looks like we're having a little bit of issues getting that sound. So what the fire chief was telling me is that this apartment complex was built in the 70s or 80s. There's lots of apartment complex like that, and they were built before there was a code to have sprinklers in every unit. So again, there were no sprinklers in this unit because it was grandfathered in. It was built before there was a code to do that. Right now, the cause of this fire is still under investigation, and when we learn more about this fire, we'll let you know on air and on live. Reporting live in Leon Valley, Camilla Juarez, KSAT12 News.
Thank you, Camilla. Outside, live cam, hot and humid. That's only 77, but it feels like it's hot, doesn't it?
It doesn't, it looks like it's going to pour down rain any second.
It does. We actually do have a chance for a couple showers today, but it's not until tonight that the real show starts to take shape and we see the risk for some storms and maybe even some severe weather. And some rain here in San Antonio. It's a possibility. Let's start with the radar because I do want to show you we have some showers out there. You got to go down to Medina County. These are moving off to the north and east and could affect areas like Hondo here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Now, this is light stuff. This is not going to be the thunderstorm activity that we're looking for later today, but you could get a few sprinkles, some light showers there around Hondo. Nothing around San Antonio right now. Let's take a look at some of the weather headlines as we look outside. We're expecting development of those thunderstorms along the Rio Grande anywhere from 4 to 5 p.m. So around dinner time, maybe just before. Could we see severe weather? Absolutely. Hail, gusty winds would be the main threats. What about San Antonio? Well, if those storms hold together and they push east, we'll see those around 8 to 11 p.m. here in town. There still is a risk for severe weather as those storms make it to San Antonio, but they're probably weakening a little bit. It could just be in the form of rain, which would be great. 77 right now. Dew point is at 69. That is a very high number. Southerly winds at about 8 miles per hour. And here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. By 3 o'clock, 82. We make it up to around 83 this afternoon. We'll keep some small chances of rain in the forecast and bring those rain chances up by the 8 o'clock hour here in town. 40% chance of storms. We're going to take a look at some of the computer models. I'll show you what I think is going to evolve tonight, and we'll talk about that risk for severe weather as well coming up in just a bit. David.
Thank you, Justin. One of the latest vehicle theft cases locally suggests that no one is immune from this crime.
And apparently size doesn't matter either. Someone stole a school bus overnight. It took it right off the lot in the East Central School District's Transportation Center.
Katrina Weber shows us how police quickly recovered it clear across town.
This is a stop that was not on the route, a supermarket parking lot on the west side of town. San Antonio police say a call from the other side of town from their counterparts at the East Central Independent School District led them here to Ingram Road near Callahan a little after 5:30 this morning. The school district had been looking for the bus, which was stolen overnight. All of these school buses have GPS tracking systems, but it's mainly used for safety reasons. In this case, though, it came in handy for tracking down the stolen bus. Also on board was a giant bolt cutter, a possible tool used in the crime. East Central ISD says the bus was stolen from one of its transportation centers, and the crooks left their own car behind. After daylight, we could see school police conducting an investigation at that site in St. Hedwig. We were told a worker noticed the bus missing around 3 or 4 this morning. but it seems the school district quickly made a backup plan. A spokesman says the theft did not affect morning bus service. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio police arresting a man accused of shooting and killing a woman at a taco stand last month on the south side. 32-year-old Roland Contreras Jr. taken into custody yesterday. Back in April, police thought they had Contreras cornered during a standoff. They later learned he had snuck away, and they had been searching for him ever since. All this stemming from a shooting on April 6th. It happened on Southwest Military Drive near Commercial Avenue. Police say they believe Contreras and another man got into an argument at a taco stand and that man was Contreras' intended victim. Instead, however, 33-year-old Gabrielle Campos Delangelo was the one who took all the bullets. She later died, and the man she was with, who was her estranged husband, was able to identify Contreras as the shooter. Authorities say that Gabriel had been or was involved in a relationship with Contreras.
This noon, police are trying to find a shooter who left a man hurt. It happened yesterday just west of downtown near South Hamilton Avenue. That's where police tell us someone demanding money shot a 28-year-old man. That victim was hit in the arm and taken to the hospital where he is expected to be okay. No word yet on any arrests. And investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a house fire on East Side overnight. It happened around 11 o'clock at a home on East Crockett. That's near East Houston Street and Lincoln Park. Now, firefighters tell us that when they got inside that house, they found a mattress burning in the front bedroom. We are told that the woman who owns the home takes in people with mental illness. All the residents did manage to get out safe. An arson investigation team has been called to the house because, according to the owner, one of the residents has a history of setting fires.
A San Antonio man in the hospital knows what happened at Market Square last week that got him shot, but not who or why they did it. It happened amid the fiesta crowds.
All I just saw was a gun raised towards our way, and I pushed my cousin, and then I just remember just feeling the impact in my breath coming out of my mouth, like a punch to the gut.
Omar Rodriguez was shot in the chest. He says a fight broke out when a couple moved through the crowd, pushing their way through the crowd, and Rodriguez's pregnant wife was shoved. He says it all happened so quickly.
We were having so much fun. We were pretty much just dancing, laughing, making memories, and then just the altercation, everything just went south after that.
San Antonio police have been searching, but they have not made any arrests in this case yet.
Let's take to Atlanta for the latest developments on that shooting there. One person killed, 4 more injured when a gunman started firing in a doctor's office yesterday afternoon. The gunman got away from the scene, but was eventually caught. ABC's Rena Roy with a look at the charges that suspect is now facing.
The man who police say unleashed violence at an Atlanta medical center Wednesday is now behind bars, charged with murder and 4 counts of aggravated assault.
This took multiple jurisdictions working together.
The hours-long manhunt coming to an end at this apartment complex. Police arresting 24-year-old Dion Patterson after they say he shot and killed 1 person and injured 4 others in the waiting room of a doctor's office.
30 police cars went flying down there, and then they caught him.
I saw the arrest. They had him down, and like 15 other cops came down there too. But once they all got in the area, they told me I had to leave. He's caught, and everybody can relax now.
Police releasing surveillance photos of Patterson shortly after the shooting, including one where he's seen pointing a gun. They say he stole this white pickup truck from a gas station and got away. Dr. Timothy Simons was in the middle of a surgery 1 floor above when the gunfire began.
I heard some policemen outside saying, come out with your hands up. And then at that point, they made sure that I was not a shooter. And then they brought me out, and then they escorted us all down the stairs.
39-year-old Amy St. Pierre, a CDC employee, was killed.
There was a female shot. She's seriously bleeding, shot in the side and the back.
Records show Patterson left the Coast Guard in January. So far, police have not released a motive in this mass shooting. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Happening today, the Secretary of Homeland Security traveling to Texas. Alejandro Mayorkas will be in the Rio Grande Valley to review how Border Patrol and ICE agents will handle the end of the Title 42 policy that allowed for deportation in many cases due to COVID. The secretary will also meet with the DHS workforce as well as local officials and law enforcement.
Still coming up, the Golden State Warriors could be in a little trouble in their series with the Lakers, and head coach Steve Kerr is concerned.
We told you about this before. Military veterans learning how to become accomplished musicians. We're going to take another look at the program and tell you how you can hear them. We've got an update now on a program at UTSA that's been helping military veterans get confidence and build community by connecting them with the power of music.
Tiffany Ware just shows us just how the program has been changing the lives of military veterans and where you can watch them perform.
For Bryce Kyle, an Army veteran and graduate student at UTSA, it's been a memorable few months.
It was pretty immediately special.
Kyle has been teaching military veterans how to read and play music.
We take the veteran from absolute beginner all the way through to performing a concert.
He is one of the mentors for Encore, a concert band for veterans that was formed by UTSA School of Music.
We mentor the students in groups on their instruments, and that's my role here. I'm a clarinet mentor.
The program started in September of last year, and more than 30 military veterans participated.
It's very rewarding to see these veterans, to see the joy on their faces when they're playing in rehearsal together, and to see them connecting with each other.
Kyle hopes this program continues. He says music has changed his life.
I was a music student on the post 9/11 GI Bill, and it just gave me an opportunity to really self-explore and connect with people I wouldn't necessarily connect with who never served in the military, and it integrated me back into society.
The community is invited to the first Encore concert on Saturday at 10:45 a.m. at the UTSA Recital Hall. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Sweet sound right there, huh?
I am so happy they're doing that. Music heals the soul, and rain makes the flowers grow.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I tell you, some great sounds here, some great sound. If we could get some rain, pitter-pattering on the roof tonight, that would be a good way to go to bed tonight. And there is a chance that we could see some storms around the area, maybe some rain in spots. We're going to watch what happens out west a little bit later this afternoon. The aquifer still down half a foot today to 640, so we're headed in the wrong direction. Some rain would help us a lot there. Molds and grass are both low. That's all we have in today's pollen count. We're going to take a look at the forecast for tonight and talk about the threat for severe weather coming up.
Justin doesn't want that thunder and lightning. He just wants a little pitter patter on the roof.
It is. I love that sound.
Yeah.
I really do. There is nothing to me that is more comforting.
You just don't want the loud sounds of hail hitting the roof, So
a little lightning is okay,
right
off in the distance.
Yeah, a little light thunder.
But then it's going to be on somebody's head. The lightning may be distant from you, but somebody's getting it.
You're right.
That's true. We'll just go with rain.
Just go with rain.
But there is an opportunity for that, guys. We're watching the radar pretty closely today. For right now, it's just some light showers down there in Medina County trying to cross over Highway 90 at this hour. So Hondo, you may get a light shower. This is not going to amount to much at all. We're noticing some light returns in Bandera County too. This is kind of the appetizer, if you will. We're still waiting on the heavier stuff, which is yet to develop. And that's going to happen more so out west, places like Del Rio and Eagle Pass and the mountains of Mexico. That's where we're going to see the initial development of some stronger thunderstorms, I think, later today. As you look across the state of Texas, we know there's some lift coming in because, we do have some showers here and there and some thunderstorms up across parts of Oklahoma and some clouds starting to gather out across West Texas as our storm system moves in. I want to show you the dew points real quick because we do have a dry line that's setting up too, and that'll help to give us some lift today. You can see kind of where that dry line is, separates the humid moisture from the dry desert air, and a lot of times it can help to stir up some thunderstorms. There it is, and it pushes east today. It's right along that dry line this afternoon where storms will fire anywhere from Del Rio up to Abilene, parts of North Texas, and that's where the Storm Prediction Center has a risk for severe weather. This darker pink color is where the greatest risk is. And even then, we're talking about a 2 out of 5. So it's not huge, but it is there. We have to mention it. Hail and gusty winds will be the main threats today. And most of our viewing area is included in that scattered risk. So let's look at the forecast here. And as we go to 4 or 5 o'clock here, storms are starting to fire out west around Del Rio, as I said. And when these storms initially develop, there likely will be some severe weather involved. Then if they can grow into a cluster of storms, which is what several of the models are indicating, then they could work their way towards San Antonio tonight, weakening as they do, but still we're getting thunderstorms here around 9, 10 o'clock. And there could be some pockets of heavy rain that develop with this as well. So that'll be something to watch. Then as we get towards the midnight hour, this should start to weaken and then eventually get out of here by 1, 2 a.m. And by tomorrow morning, things are dry again. We're going to put in about a 40% chance of rain because there still is some uncertainty as to where these storms initially develop and how they kind of evolve. But that's the general idea. The KSAT 12-hour forecast, 80 degrees at 2 o'clock. We're up around 83 for a high today. And notice we start to bring the rain chances up. 30% at 6 and 7 o'clock, but we bring it up to a 40% chance 8 through about 10 p.m. And that's when we could see our best chance of storms here in San Antonio. So the extended forecast, 89 coming up tomorrow. There is a small chance of a few storms tomorrow afternoon. Isolated, straight isolated, and maybe a little better chance Saturday and Sunday. But the bottom line with this forecast is that we expect just isolated afternoon stuff each and every day with the threat of a few strong storms here and there. We just have the setup for that. And temperatures will be close to 90 each and every day too. So a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. Heat indices can be in the mid-90s over the weekend. Keep the KSAT weather app handy. We'll alert you if there are any storms today and how this forecast evolves. And meteorologist Mia Montgomery and potentially Adam Caskey tonight will have the latest on the storms and where they're headed, guys.
You guys will be on the job. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, a local high school baseball star set some pitching records last night in his major league debut. We've got that for you. And another former local star on the diamond being recognized for a huge month of April. The Golden State Warriors lost Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals at home, which really isn't a big deal to them. In the first round, they trailed the Kings 2-0, yet they won the series in 7, taking Game 7 in Sacramento. The Lakers beat the Warriors 117-112. They were led by Anthony Davis. He had 30 points, 23 rebounds, 4 blocks. Steve Kerr knows that's something that has to change for Game 2.
I thought AD had a great game. I mean, he obviously dominated and blocked 4 shots and altered some others. But you know, that's what this team has been doing now for the last few months. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league for a reason, and he's a huge part of that. So he had a great game, and we'll watch the tape and we'll see where we can find better ways to attack.
All right, Game 2 tonight, 8 o'clock in San Francisco. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, Boston beat up Philly 121-87. Even that series at 1 game apiece. Hey, still talking about that impressive performance by former New Braunfels high school pitcher Bryce Miller during his major league debut Tuesday night with the Seattle Mariners. The 24-year-old retired the first 16 batters he faced, carried a perfect game no-hitter into the 6th inning when Tony Kemp singled for the A's to break it up. He is the first Mariners pitcher to strike out 10 in his major league debut, and he's the only third pitcher in AL-NL history with 10-plus strikeouts and 0 walks in his debut. His final line, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 10 Ks, no walks. Here's the second of his first major league strikeouts.
That'll bring up first baseman Ryan Noda.
And did he get it? Yes, indeed. First big league strikeout for Bryce Miller. 2 outs here in the second.
He strikes out Ryan Noda on 3 pitches. Hey, take that ball out of the game and save it. That'd be a great souvenir for Bryce Miller. Way to go, kid. Strikeout number 1.
I hope they took that out of the game and gave it to him. Miller, who took a no decision, averaged just over 95 miles an hour on his 4-seam fastball. That's why that guy couldn't hit it. Texas Rangers third baseman Josh Young named the American League Rookie of the Month for April. The MacArthur High School grad hit .270, 6 home runs, 5 doubles, 21 RBIs over 26 games in April. His 6 homers and 21 RBIs, the most by a Rangers rookie before the end of April. And he closed out the month in style with the 30th by hitting that first grand slam. That helped the Rangers just beat up on the Yankees 15-2.
I've never hit a grand slam at any level, so it's pretty cool. We got the 4 runs in the first, and then they got 1 in one of the innings that we ended up putting up 4 more. It was just like, man, here we come. If we could do that day in and day out, you know, that's like October baseball stuff. So, I mean, truly 1 through 9 was just a great day for us.
That's amazing. As great as he was in high school and at Texas Tech, he didn't hit a grand slam till earlier this week. Young and the Rangers closed out their 2-game series with the Diamondbacks yesterday, and Josh had a huge day again. Bottom of the 5Z crushed that one. That was a 2-run shot left center, 400 feet. Rangers led 7-6, kept on a 5-run inning. His second home run of the day. He went 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, but the Diamondbacks came back to win it 12-7. All right, Giants and the Astros. Here's the lone Houston highlight. Bottom of the 8th, Alex Bregman. That's a 2-run homer to left. The Astros' first runs of the day. They trailed 3-2. That's Bregman's 4th of the season, his first at home this season. Giants win 4-2, taking 2 of 3 from the champs. And in the Texas League, the Drillers edged out the Missions 3-2, winning with a walk-off RBI single in the bottom of the 9th. Those always hurts.
Baseball.
There you go.
All right. Knowing the signs of a stroke could help save a life. It is Stroke Month. We're going to show you how some of those signs could be subtle and what you need to look out for. We are on the lookout for rain, and yeah, some people are already getting a little bit of it, but more to come tonight.
Yes, rain chances will be on the increase. And if you're watching at 9 a.m. or if you're watching KSAT News Now, we mentioned that today is May the 4th, which is also Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And we got a picture here on our KSAT Connect from Henderson Elementary. Happy Star Wars Day. That's pretty cool. That's some good memorabilia there. That looks like they're having fun at Henderson. We appreciate the picture. Like the lightsaber there. And yes, happy Star Wars Day. And if we look at the satellite picture right now, we've got a lot of cloud cover out there. We're watching for some storms out west. Those will develop a little bit later this afternoon along the Rio Grande, Del Rio, Eagle Pass. Those will be places that see some storms first, although we are seeing a couple of showers right around Hondo at this hour. Temperatures mid-70s, 77 degrees. Because the clouds are fairly thick, we're not going to warm up just a ton today, but I think we will make it into the low 80s here in town. Already seeing some mid 80s down there around Carrizo Springs. 75 Helotes, 76 Randolph, 77 at Stinson. The risk for severe weather basically scattered around our area on a scale of 1 to 5, a 2. Hail, gusty winds will be the main threats initially out west, and then we'll watch for that threat to push east a little bit later tonight. Here's your May the 4th forecast. We're calling for a high today of 83, 40% chance of storms this evening. We're getting into the spirit here in the weather department, guys.
All right, thanks, Justin.
Who's your daddy?
The White House is officially denying Russia's new claim that the U.S. was behind 2 drone strikes at the Kremlin. Ukraine also denying that involvement. ABC's Lindsay Watts has a look at video of those drone strikes. Russia says one of the strikes was an assassination attempt on President Putin.
Russian state media has released this video of drones exploding in the heart of Moscow. One smashing into the Kremlin's iconic domes, then a second exploding as it approaches the Russian flag. Russia has accused both Ukraine and the U.S. of attempting to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin, who wasn't there at the time.
There's a word that comes to mind that I'm obviously not appropriate to use on national TV.
On CNN today, White House spokesman John Kirby said Russia is lying about U.S. involvement.
It's a ludicrous claim. The United States had nothing to do with this. We don't even know exactly what happened here.
Ukrainian President Zelensky also denying Ukraine was behind the drone strike.
We don't attack Putin or Moscow. We fight on our territory.
Questions remain about whether this was a real attack or staged by the Russians.
There are reasons that Putin could conceivably want to conduct a false flag operation here. He wants to fire up the Russian people.
Overnight, air defense systems in Kyiv took out incoming drones believed to be part of Russian retaliation. Elsewhere, new strikes killing more than 20 civilians in the southern city of Kherson. Images showing destruction at a grocery store and a train station with nearly 50 people hurt. All of this coming ahead of a planned spring counteroffensive by Ukraine. In a statement, Russia called the alleged drone attack a planned terrorist attack. The Kremlin also issuing the warning that Russia has the right to retaliate when and where it sees necessary. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
The top executive at J.P. Morgan Chase will now go on the record this month regarding his and his company's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He's going to be giving a deposition on what he knew about those convictions and accusations against Epstein while they were doing business with him. According to a source familiar with the cases, CEO Jamie Dimon is to be deposed on May 26th and 27th. The government of the U.S. Virgin Islands and an unnamed plaintiff accused J.P. Morgan executives of knowing about the sex abuse and the sex trafficking investigations, but continued to meet with him. The suits allege it continued for a year before bank executives cut ties with Epstein. The suit also accuses Morgan of obstructing the investigations of federal law enforcement and prosecuting agencies. Epstein died in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial on charges of sex trafficking.
The Federal Reserve voted unanimously to boost interest rates by a quarter point yesterday. That takes the federal funds rate from 5 to 5.2%. We haven't seen it this high in almost 16 years. Another financial matter still hanging over Washington, D.C., the debt ceiling crisis. President Biden, House Speaker McCarthy, and other top lawmakers will discuss the debt ceiling at a meeting scheduled for next week. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. could default by June 1st if it isn't raised by then.
If you're concerned about the safety of your money in the bank, you are not alone. According to a new Gallup poll, nearly half of Americans say that they're concerned about the money that they have put into financial institutions. 19% say they're very worried. Another 29% are moderately worried. These findings similar to 2008, when Gallup last surveyed this question during the global financial crisis. Despite a string of bank failures in recent weeks, though, U.S. officials are saying the industry overall remains strong.
The Federal Trade Commission wants to tighten restrictions on Facebook owner Meta. The agency claims the company has improperly shared user data with third parties and failed to protect children. The FTC says Meta violated an agreement by giving personal information to apps that users are no longer using. The agency also says a messaging app marketed to kids allowed them to connect to contacts not approved by their parents. The new FTC proposal would forbid Meta from monetizing data collected from young users and forbid it from releasing any new features until a third-party auditor approves them.
Students are learning less, and their test scores are proving it. That apparently is especially true for 8th graders in the subjects of U.S. history as well as civics. According to a new report from the National Assessment of Educational Progress, researchers say that 40% of students scored below basic proficiency in 2022. That's up 6% since 2018. The new test score data comes after the NAEP reported last fall that scores for American 9-year-olds in reading and math fell by a level not seen in decades.
In your Health Minute, nearly 800,000 people suffer a stroke every year in the U.S., according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And believe it or not, many don't know the signs of this potentially deadly and debilitating condition. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on the subtle signs to look out for in honor of Stroke Awareness Month.
1 in 3 stroke victims never call 911, according to the CDC, delaying critical care.
Early treatment is better in all cases.
Dr. Andrew Russman, medical director of Cleveland Clinic's Comprehensive Stroke Center, says many may not even know they're having a stroke, missing the subtle signs. Knowing the words "be fast" is a simple way to remember how to spot a stroke. B is for balance. Is the person suddenly having trouble with balance or coordination? E, eyes. Do they have blurred or double vision or sudden loss of vision in one or both eyes without pain? F, face drooping. Does one side droop or is it numb? To answer that question, ask the person to smile. A, arm weakness. A weak or numb arm or leg can be a symptom. Ask the person to raise both arms and watch for whether one drifts downward. S, speech difficulty. Ask the person to repeat a simple sentence. Watch for slurring or if the words are hard to understand. And T, time. If a person is having any of these symptoms, call 911 immediately.
This is not a situation when you're having those symptoms that you want to drive yourself to the emergency department or drive a loved one. You got to call 911 and get the care you need from the experts in the emergency department.
Recent research also finds stroke is happening more often in younger people.
It's critically important that people of all ages recognize that stroke can happen to them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Good advice right there. If you're on the hunt for a raise or promotion, you're going to do more than just work hard. You're going to make sure that your accomplishments are not only noticed, but remembered.